We'll see. All right. It says it says we're live again. I have no idea, man. Yeah.
Okay, well, I hope that's true.
So OBS decided to just shut down completely. I have no idea what's going on. I really hope this is the same stream or something.
No, it's not.
It's not the same stream.
It's a separate stream.
Yep.
No, I see people in chat. Oh shit! All right, I guess you're right.
Yeah, see, the new Streamlabs OBS tries to oversimplify things and doesn't give you enough control. Kyle's here. Made it over.
It looks to me like you won't have to complain about the thumbnail anymore because the new thumbnail is just our dumb faces talking mid-stream. But hey, guys, we're live. If anybody's out there, anybody has popped into the new stream, sorry about the technical difficulties.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
We're going through some transitional growing pains here.
Oh, I see the new one.
All right, well, guys, we're here. This is interesting. I don't even know what to tell you at this point. But
we're not where we were, but we're here now. So
right, yeah. So welcome to the new stream. I have no idea what's going on. But Part two. That's exactly it, guys. We were just about to talk about the Gadgeteer reveal over there on the PSVR AF show today. What's your interest level in Gadgeteer, guys? I got to get Tornado off the screen. I got to bring Gadgeteer up.
Higher than I thought it would be. Yeah. It actually looks decent. I like the puzzle setup looks cool. I like that there's that big room where you can walk around and see every puzzle and kind of peruse. But yeah, it looks like they put a lot of work into making this like a casual, relaxing sort of play at your own pace, play the way you want to kind of puzzle game where it's not like there's one outcome for how to solve it. So that's always cool. But it sounds like they're really excited about the sandbox mode, and I'm excited about the online sandbox sharing stuff because some of the footage they showed off looked insane. I mean, I've played enough Mario Maker to know that people will make a Rube Goldberg machine out of anything.
Right.
But those were always really fun to see and just admire the craft of it. Like those ones where you don't press anything and it just bounces Mario around through this crazy contraption. Like some of the stuff they shared from the online stuff that's already out there looked impressive as hell to just sit there and marvel at and be like, damn, I wish I could make something like that. So I think this one looks more exciting than I expected.
Yeah,
because of those features, like the sharing stuff online and all that.
Yeah, it did seem like this somehow managed to transcend, games like The Incredible Machine, or Crazy Machines, whatever the hell the VR one was called. Then there was Domino Craft, and there's also sorts of different games that sort of played with the same ideas, same mechanics, that just never grabbed me. Like what was a Fantastic Contraption was another one. It's like, man, I tried my hardest to get into that. It's just like, no,
I couldn't get into that either.
But I'm watching developers play this, and I'm just like, man, this looks really fun. Like it seems like there's a lot of different possibilities here, and yeah, man, I really can't wait to dive into this. This looks fun. AJ's
holding.
AJ's like
anything nice.
AJ's like it doesn't look like a Rube Goldberg machine.
I like the physics of it. Look cool. The idea of it looks cool. Another one that's just not for me, but it was more impressive than what I was expecting.
Okay.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, it was more impressive than I was expecting to. But jury is still out on whether or not I'll actually like the thing. But it looks pretty good.
Yeah. And they weren't able to say a release date, but they did say a price point. It's $15, and for something like this, I feel like it's spot on.
That's right on target. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For being able to create and share stuff online, I think $15 is perfect. If it was just their generated levels, you could just play their stuff. I'd say $10 would be like my maximum, probably. But
yeah. Looks fantastic. Looks really good. They got a trailer in the works, so we're gonna see something a little bit more official pretty soon. But yeah, shout out to that team over there doing good work. Can't wait to see your game on PSVR. I will say one final thing, what they're showing right here in the trailer, where actually they're walking around the room, with full locomotion and stuff. It's like the level select area alone. I'm like, that's kind of cool, man. It's like this.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I really liked the way they did that level select.
Yeah. It's like just one big kind of office space to fuck around in. And all the spaces do look pretty big, so I'm wondering just how crazy things can get. At what point is it just too much physics for the processor to handle? But you see all these like marbles and balls and stuff, they're all bouncing around and falling down and spinning around. It's like, at what point does everything just crash?
Real quick, Chairface in the chat has said, is there any chance that Alvo will be bad? I think I can say no. We've all played it, and unless they did something in the last patch that breaks everything, probably not. You'll probably have a good time with it. Everybody I've talked to has enjoyed playing it. And, free hits different than paid for, but this is something people want, and it's a fast-paced, team-based shooter, and there's other modes and stuff. Like, it's good. It's good. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. No, it's we certainly don't have like reviews done or anything like that. It's so the final verdict will always be, we'll always leave that until the review is done, until we've actually like had extensive testing on it. But it's fun, man. That's all I'll say is I've had a lot of fun with it for now.
It's weird that I've played a game for 10 hours before it comes out and can actually say, hey, yeah, I think this is pretty good, and that's definitely the case with this one.
I think it's going to continue to get better too, because I think they're going to continue to update it and stuff and shape it and add to it and enhance it over time. And I think it's just going to get better as well. So it's going to start strong and keep going.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Guys, something we don't know if will be good or not. That's such an awkward transition.
Good segue, Brian.
Yeah, thank you so much for being part of our show. We don't know if you're any good or not, and that's definitely Hubris. Hubris is made by the team over at Cyborn Games. Did a quick little developer interview with Kuhn over there, the lead developer, and man, this game looks like a AAA game. And
they got 30 people on their team. They said with some contractors on top of it, which makes me think, like, they come from they said like a blockbuster AAA graphic design. They did big movies and stuff, and you can tell in the polish on this thing, like, it's clearly not running on a PS4 OG, obviously. Right. But the one comment I have is that it is the definition of hubris to release a VR game titled Part 1. Like, they named it perfectly, because we never expect a Part 2, right? It's too ambitious. It never happens. Maybe these guys will pull it off, but I just always have a bad taste in my mouth about a Part 1. You know what I mean? And I think you did good asking him about that and saying, like, hey, man, we're used to this shit not ever happening. Like, what's your plan? What are you going to do?
Right.
The game itself looks very polished, very good, though. Like, adventure kind of, do a little bit of this, a little bit of climbing, a little bit of shooting, a little bit of swimming, where it's not like you're stuck in one mechanic the whole time. And they said it's definitely not a first-person shooter. So that's interesting to note as well. Like, they're probably going more Uncharted or something, it looks like, with the style of the game, which, we could use more of. Something better than Immortal Legacy, at least, right?
You said a lot there in that rant.
Yeah,
and the first thing I'll say is that like, as far as like, we've gotten a lot of games that are called Episode 1 or whatever, something along those lines. And I feel like most of them, at least, were like self-contained stories where, like, I got to the end and it was like, that's satisfying. I feel like even Immortal Legacy that ended like sort of on a cliffhanger, where it was like, where the fuck is this going? I felt like, the arc of that story came to a decent conclusion, even though the story is just fucking insane. I was satisfied, and so, like, being like, okay, this was a self-contained thing, and like Part 2 is just going to be even crazier. I'm okay with these Episode 1 things, but it's like I say these things to developers, like, because I know how concerned all the cats are, and how much that these things have a bad reputation. And it's so nice to hear Kuhn say this is a self-contained story, and that, like, if you only play, I think I cut out it was a 20-minute interview that I chopped down to about 5 minutes because I didn't want it to kill the flow of the show. But one of the things he had said was that, like, if you only play Episode 2 and skip Episode 1, he's like, you're going to be okay. It's going to be enough. You're going to be like, well, yeah, obviously you miss some of the backstory, as to how these characters know each other and relate to each other and what they've been through together. But at the same time, it's going to be a self-contained story that is going to be accessible to people who are just jumping in. And that's, really, really important for games like this.
Man, you guys just leave me over here all quiet. This is my type of game right here, man. This is totally my sci-fi adventure. It's got underwater. I finally caved and I played a little bit of Subnautica. I know, but I couldn't take it anymore because I just really been wanting to play it. This looks like this is the kind of stuff that I see here visually, at least, is like the stuff in Subnautica that I love, like, you know, just underwater, the whole stuff. It actually, some of it reminds me of the Solus Project a little bit. Some of those assets look mighty familiar. But
I did notice that actually. Yeah,
just those columns or whatever. They don't look exactly the same, but no, this is my type of game. I really hope this delivers, because I love stuff like this. Even if it's just like a 5-hour, like you said, it's a 5-hour sci-fi adventure, stuff like that. It's got some action though. It's got some running, jumping, climbing, swimming. There's some kind of maybe puzzles or problem solving going on here. There's some shooting, and that's like, I couldn't ask for anything more. So, you know, it looks fun. It looks exciting. It looks beautiful. And, you know, even if it's a, you know, 5-hour game or whatever, I'm down with that. If it's cool, if they nail the story, as well, then yeah, they're golden. But yeah, this looks great. This looks like everything I really like.
Yeah, I think nailing the story is kind of important when you get a team like this, because we saw, and I'm grasping at the name here. Hopefully one of you guys will keep me honest and remember. There was a game that was a sci-fi adventure that came out within the last year or two, and it was by a team that had previously done big 3D graphics and movies and stuff like that. Are you getting the gist of what I'm talking about? It's like a 6 or 7 hour game, single player, came out around the same time as Separation. We were trying to differentiate it from Separation.
Oh yeah.
Anything? You know the game I'm talking about?
You're not talking about Paper Beast, are you?
No.
Yeah.
It's like a sci-fi adventure single player story that is made by a team that previously made Hollywood epic 3D graphic stuff. Like the same story.
It was the one where you throw the ball. You throw the artifact.
So
and they added mission support.
Right.
Same team that made Covert. Who was that?
Eclipse,
Edge of Light. Yes.
No, different game. What? I will figure it out. But
okay.
Somebody in the chat knows what I'm talking about, and I'll think of it. But that was a game that, like, there were set pieces. It looked good, but you could tell there was, like, it was kind of soulless. It was the soulless project, if you know what I mean. Sorry. I had a little Gilman in my heart there.
You sure did.
Yeah, but one of these people will think of it. Anyways, like, I just hope that it has a strong narrative and it doesn't feel like a tech demo, you know? Like, oh, look how good we can make graphics, guys. That's always the worry.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, the story will be interesting to see how it unfolds. You know, in the trailer they have some characters there that are already making some impressions with me, but you know, the story was basically like, in the trailer it just showed a quick clip and they're like, the soldiers are over there and stuff. So it seems like maybe like some kind of rescue or survival thing going on. So I typically when it comes to story, I mean, a lot of the times what I like the most is like trying to save the end of the world or something like that, or something which is like the highest of stakes possible.
Eden Tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Tomorrow.
Finally,
well done,
Tom.
That
was way older. Yeah.
That was early 2019.
It wasn't 2 years ago. I said 2 years ago. 1 or 2 years ago.
I thought you said a year ago. Okay.
It's less recent than I thought, but thank you, Tom. That was going to pick at my brain like all night if I could.
God, that was horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that's interesting about this, the funny thing is, one of the things that Kuhn said was that, you know, the CEO of the company has spent like 20 years of his life coming up with this IP and like fleshing it out and writing it and blah blah blah, the whole thing. And I was like, this sounds so familiar. This is like
Scraper.
This is the Scraper story, right?
Yeah.
And Scraper, you know, we don't know what happened to Scraper. Like, were they a one and done? They sort of they tried to do this side story afterwards, and then they kind of went quiet. And so, you know, I would hate for their ambition to get in the way of their success, if that makes any sense. I'm glad that they're shooting for a 5-hour story and not trying to do like an epic 20-hour adventure for their first, you know, time out the gate. It's like, you got to be able to like actually get your game out there and not spend $200 million getting it done, right? Because you got to make your money back so you can continue work on your series. So I would
also told the story. They tried to sell a book on the side.
Well, they put a whole book in it. They were like, "Hey, you want to read a novel inside of VR?" I'm like, "No, not interested."
No, I've already played Tokyo Chronos. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
yeah. As long as they don't but it's hard, man. It's hard to get everything right, and typically when it comes to video games, I think most of the time they don't get the story right. They don't.
Did AJ freeze for you or just for me?
Yeah, he's frozen for everybody.
He's frozen. Okay.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna. Oh, there he is.
Oh, he's back.
AJ's back.
AJ, you're back. We can hear you now.
As long as they focus on story or gameplay or something, the internet here is good for one of those, like every now and then. Just like occasional dropout real quick and then it comes back. But yeah, man, like the companies don't usually get the story right in games. Like, that's usually something that most AAA companies are really good at and stuff. Even like games that are like story driven don't typically have the best, most engaging stories. The only one I could think of is maybe like Ghost Giant, but yeah, usually the graphics are the strength, the gameplay is the strength, or the story is maybe the strength. But they've got their work cut out for them if they want to nail all that. But to me, get some exploration in here, get some adventure, get some gameplay, and I'm good, man. It doesn't have to be, Freediver. I loved Freediver, and I didn't care about the story.
Oh god, the story
it was just
rough.
a fun, intense situation to be in and to survive.
Yeah. I totally agree. We've seen plenty of success stories in terms of, the things on the shorter end that were like really polished from beginning to end. I think Red Matter is one that stands out as far as that's concerned. Yeah. Super polished, looks great, plays great, awesome puzzles, great narrative. The whole thing just works. And it's like, 4 hours long, 5 hours long. And it's like, if this ends up being a similar story, but I mean, but it's got even more gameplay variety, then I mean, it'd be hard to complain unless they try to charge like $60 for it.
Yeah.
Alva's in the chat. What's going on, Steve? Yeah, man, we just covered the breaking news with the Alva release date. Super excited that you get that news out there. Good stuff, man. Very, very good. But moving on, as far as PSVR AF is concerned, the next story that we had is that that's it for today. And that's the next story. Is that you have to tune in at noon tomorrow. And boy, howdy, I can't wait to see what it is because I haven't really started working on it. Don't tell anybody. I've got a lot of work to do tonight. That's for sure. So, but very exciting to kind of like get all the pieces together and polish it up and make it all fun to watch. So yeah, noon Eastern tomorrow, guys. It's gonna be a whole nother set of PSVR gameplay reveals and things to be excited about. Maybe another interview. It's going to be really good stuff, guys. So make sure you tune in, noon Eastern. It was so much fun to watch it with all you guys today. And yeah. But, of course, news happens outside of PSVR AF. And one of the things that happened, thanks to our good news hound, Hibsy, over on the Discord, he spotted a couple new trailers for us to check out. And one is for a game that was previously announced called Neon Hat. Neon had like a couple of screenshots when it was first announced, and they were like really basic. And now we've got this trailer for it, which I don't think strays too far from
similarly basic. And is that the highest resolution they could have exported that video at? I'm not sure. It doesn't look too hot.
No, I don't think I've watched it full screen yet.
Yeah,
Brian, you really convinced everybody that the show was ending.
Yeah, they're all like, see you guys later. It's great. Yeah, no, I thought so too. I was like, are we wrapping up? I thought there was more shit on the docket.
There's a couple more things we got to talk about for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, I think the reason we were, kind of, curious about this game when they first revealed it, even though the screenshots were like just like this, but single screenshots.
Yeah.
Was because of the locomotion, the stuff that they were talking about in terms of what they were trying to do. The description of this game reads, soar at raging speeds while dodging and shooting your way against the dangers of the synthwave skies. Compete against others like you in the global leaderboards and leave your mark in this neon-soaked universe. Bring the ultimate test of skill to PSVR with its own 3D maneuvering system. Will you be able to rise to the top of each of the 25 plus levels? Find it now and make the skies yours. Neon Hat. They kind of go on to say that the reason they wanted to make this game was because of they wanted to play with the freedom of movement in VR. They said completely free of dizziness at high speeds. It took them 3 years to develop the prototype. It allows 2 players competing online to use the flight system, and it does look. I will say the movement system looks pretty fucking cool. It's like jetpacks, guys. Jetpacks on your hands.
Yeah, I'm curious how it actually works in real life. But yeah, it could be interesting.
Scott Justico says Superman 64 VR.
Oh no.
Oh no.
God, that's a shame. There's a lot. I mean, it seems like there's a lot more to this than the trailer shows off. They've got a bunch of bullet points here. It says realistic flight, authentic sensations, improve and progress, make the skies yours. Thousands of people have gone through our technical demo, very positive feedback. Like I said, more than 20 levels. Gigantic boss fights. They should definitely put a boss fight in this trailer, unless I missed it. Putting all the skills acquired to the test, the colossal guardians of the web present a challenge like no other. And then, of course, the global leaderboards they've already mentioned a couple times.
Now, I have to ask, do we know if this is the PSVR2 game? Because what I'm seeing on their Twitter account is, that meme with the Drake going like this, he doesn't like the one thing, and then he's like this, he likes the other thing. Mm-hmm. You've probably seen it somewhere. The Move controllers are featured in the first part where he's like, no, I don't want that. And then the new Orb controllers are featured in the one where he's like, yeah. So what I think this means is that they really want to support those Orb controllers. Do we know if it's going to be on PSVR 1 or...
Well, what I can tell you,
have to wait for this one.
What I can tell you is that it says the release date is TBD Q2 2021, which to me means absolutely not. It's got to be a PSVR 1 game.
Yeah.
But
maybe they're just looking to support that in the future, and they're excited about supporting it. But yeah. It also looks like it came out of that same Indies program that got us Intruders Hide and Seek. They're a Spanish game dev. It looks like they were featured in some kind of like lineup of PlayStation indies that were supported by PlayStation somehow. Yeah. So I think probably that same crew of students. It seemed like they were students, right, that made Intruders.
Yeah. They were college students, and they basically did it as their project in school, and became a full game because of that. So. Yeah, I mean, dude, if they nail the locomotion, like, I mean, I know it's flying through rings and stuff, but like, once you get in there and you see this in the headset and you control it with with controllers, if the control feels good, if the movement feels good, I could see this being a lot of fun. It's simple, but I mean, hopefully there's more to it than we're seeing. Are they showing combat? Because they're talking about boss fights. Are the boss fights ones you race against? I mean, I've got so many questions.
Yeah, me too. I didn't see any shooting, but I don't know.
Yeah, I need to see a lot more of this. But I can say that like this wireframe kind of purple synth wavy look stuff going on is usually really cool in VR. Reminds me of like Trigon, Made in Dreams and stuff. And that stuff is really fun and colorful and cool looking. Think like
Hollow Ball was like that too, right?
Like Hollow Ball or what's the music game? Electronauts, That stuff looks really cool. So if it has fun gameplay, I mean, it looks like you're just flying through hoops, though. But I'd like to see this one maybe a little bit later on. I think seems if this is what it is, I'm not super impressed, but it could. But I'd like to see it more later, maybe closer to launch.
Yeah, I just want
a little bit more fleshed out.
I want to know what the locomotion system is. Like what am I looking at exactly? Because there's that line, and sometimes there's two lines of different colors that seem to be tracing routes or something.
It looks like two jets on their hands, and you're maneuvering them, and you're seeing the trails of the other people.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I almost thought it was like a Synth Riders thing where that was your path you were supposed to take, that you're supposed to follow that line. And like with one hand do this and one hand do that, but I don't think that's how it is.
I want to like this, but I want to like the way this looks, but I'm not completely sold on it yet.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it seems like more of a Gran Turismo line where it's like a helpful path for you to follow, that kind of, so that maybe the rings don't sneak up on you terribly, like very quickly.
Yeah, it could be like a ghost from a time trial of somebody else online or something like that.
Maybe.
They said there's leaderboards, like that might be it.
That actually makes a lot of sense. That could very well be it. I don't know if you guys noticed in this environment, they keep showing off. There's traffic lights, and I'm like,
yeah.
How funny would it be if you had to stop when it was red? Just like, pump the brakes, just like stop.
I'm good at these jetpacks. Can I hover?
Come on. Yeah. I gotta go. Okay, back to it. Ridiculous. But
that is a funny design choice. Yeah, I did notice those.
Yeah, man, it's the colors that you guys mentioned. I mean, this definitely brings to mind being the rough transition between when I had a Commodore 64 and early PCs, when all you had was like CGA graphics cards that only had like these three colors, like cyan and purple, basically. It's rough. It's really rough. Yeah, man, that's what it brings to mind for me. But and we also got one more trailer we got to check out here before anything else, and that is for a new game coming out to PlayStation VR called Speedy Gun Savage. Did you guys have
Great
a chance?
name.
Did you have a chance to watch this trailer?
I actually meant to, but I'm watching it right now.
All right.
So
Well,
I'll
good.
go second.
Well,
This is not a gameplay trailer. Oh, now it is. Now it is. Hold on. Got it.
yeah, I will say that it's kind of irritating when they do gameplay trailers like this. They call it a first-person shooter, but then they don't show a ton of the first-person shooting. I don't know if this game has full locomotion. It's like why?
It
why
looks
don't
like a
they know
wave
that?
shooter as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
I'm seeing wave shooter here.
AJ, did you have a chance to watch this thing?
I'm not. I'm actually looking at the thing. I thought I remember we saw like maybe a teaser or some short gameplay of this before. Is it the same thing?
I don't remember this one myself, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. The description over on Steam says Speedy Gun Savage is a first-person shooter VR game where Wolf, the hero of the game, is an intergalactic bounty hunter and travels to different planets to collect bounties. The game has 3 different planets with several enemies and 3 main bosses. Again, they're saying
I saw this again before. It looks like a boring wave shooter.
I think it might be. It might be. Yeah.
It looks
And if you're
pretty.
touting,
Graphically, it's really nice, but it looks like a really, really bad wave shooter.
if you're touting that you have 3 separate locations as like a feature of your game, I'm like, dude, like I've seen a bunch of wave shooters that have 7 different locations and they still sucked. So I don't know. But it is hitting early access April 9th, I guess, on PC. So I'll check it out and see if it's any good and let you guys know.
yeah. Yeah, so at least we'll have that to look forward to. Dave's review of the game, even if it's not good, your reviews are always enjoyable. Especially if the game's bad. I think sometimes it's fun to watch you play it. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
there's always that.
It's the only way I can recoup the costs of a bad game is just having a good time with people online while they watch me play.
All right, guys. So before we get to move on here, I want to make sure we go through the spring sale. It's ending on the 29th, which means buy your games by the 28th because it's going to end at the last minute on the 28th. So it's always a little bit confusing. But we got a list of games here, guys. You ready to go through them one by one and give
Lightning route?
do the
Lightning round?
yeah? We'll make it super fast here because I know we all have a lot to do today.
Yes.
All right, I know it's around here somewhere. Trust me, I'll have it any second now. I
Oh,
swear.
yeah, it's okay. Give me 1 sec, actually.
Okay, perfect.
Can you guys riff for 20 seconds?
Yeah,
Bathroom
sure.
break?
I wonder what's happening in the
alright.
chat. Let's see here. Let's see what is going on in the chat.
Peter Cordova says he's going to go play his PS5. Enjoy your PS5, Peter Cordova. Nihilus Ryan says rail shooters are better than wave shooters, so hoping for rails. Me too, but it
Yes.
doesn't look like a rail shooter to me. It looks like a wave shooter. And I do think that, again, the graphics look really good. But the gameplay, man, gameplay's got to be there, and it looks bad gameplay-wise. Looks like I'd rather play that Hellgate VR game that was over there.
Yeah, there's a point where I feel like I'd rather play a bad rail shooter than a good wave shooter. Like I feel like I've just had too many wave shooters for the first couple years of PSVR, and now even a bad rail shooter is better than that.
Everybody's really excited about the Breaking Alvo news. April 13th. Let's go.
Yeah, man.
Drop Pixel just posted their official trailer for Runner. Darkwing Chuck asks AJ, how far along are you in the No Man's Sky expedition? I
great
am
question.
through phase 1. I've got more to go, though. I've got a lot more to go. I haven't been playing very much. I've been busy, obviously, still up here in Tennessee, but loving it. It's so much fun. Love No Man's Sky. Just blows my mind.
How many phases are there total? 4?
5.
5. Okay, cool. So still plenty left to do.
Yep. Gonna get on it tonight.
Oh, yeah.
All right, sale time, guys. Thumbs up, thumbs down. We're gonna run through this real quick,
All right.
and save you guys some money. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'll
and if not-
try not to recommend too many bad games. Starting with Loading Human. Speaking of, $4.49 on sale from $30. Again, point and click adventure fans, I say there's something here, but I say this every single time. But
Big
Here's
thumbs
what I
down.
say. Here's what I say every time. I say I'm gonna pick that game up. I'm gonna play it. I'll check it out. I'll give it a shot, and then I never do. I never remember to. So for me, it's probably a thumbs up. Damn it! Finally buy it, Dave, and try it out so you know what you're talking about. Yeah. But for most people, I'd say middle of the road because I don't know.
I'm not gonna waste my time.
I agree with AJ. For most people, it's thumbs down, but like for that right person out there, you might know who you are. Raw Data. It's on sale for $10 instead of $40. I think there's no question about this one.
That's a good, fun game.
Raw Data is a little bit dated, but it gets really good as you go on. It starts out a little bland, but then once you start unlocking the double weapons, double swords, double pistols, different mechanics, it gets really, really good. So yes, easy.
And there's a decent amount of play styles out there. Like there's different characters that have different weapons you unlock as you go through and stuff. Like it's got a good loop that keeps you getting new stuff the whole way through the game, right? So yeah, it's fun. Just wish it had the multiplayer that they have on PC. Otherwise, thumbs up. Let's go. Yeah.
And I don't know. I like the story in Raw Data, although it doesn't sound like that's always a popular opinion. VR Ping Pong for $4.49 on sale from $15.
If it ain't Racket Fury, it ain't for you.
I mean, seriously, this is terrible physics, and even the the aesthetics here are just awful. Speaking of which, VR Ping Pong Pro improved the aesthetics. $10 on sale from $25. The physics are worse than the original somehow.
Yeah. Some people I know Acefield got into it, right? Didn't Ace, weren't you playing that for a minute? But I don't know.
Somebody needs to buy Racket Fury.
Just get Racket Fury. Just get Racket Fury.
Yeah.
For sure. Sprint Vector on sale from $30 down to $9.
Big yes.
Always
I absolutely love this game if you're a fan of Jet Set Radio and stuff. Now, I will say this is a physical game. So if you're like the kind that, works like a really physical day job, you just want to come home, relax, you like to play with DualShock more often or sitting down, not going to be for you. But for everyone else, Sprint Vector is absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Big yes. Good workout, great art design, tons of fun. Pick it up.
It feels like a kart racer. That's what I always say. It feels like a kart racer, but it's not kart racing.
And if you convince your friends to buy it, you could play online with them. Up to 8, I think, right?
8
How many
players? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like seamless.
There,
so good. Doom VFR on sale for $9 instead of $30.
You must purchase this.
Yeah, we don't have to ask the question Doom 3 or Doom VFR. You should have both of them. They're both fantastic games for their own various reasons. We went through that last week. Arizona Sunshine on sale for $12 instead of $40.
That's what it should have launched at. maybe 20. But yeah, no, I mean, if you haven't played it and you got a name controller and you like shooting zombies, yeah, why not?
If you haven't already bought this game yet, then I'm going to say absolutely not. Like, if you're not sure about this game, like, I think anybody that wanted this game would like this game probably already has gotten it.
Yeah, but what if they got a headset last week and they want to know what's good? I don't know.
Yeah, I still wouldn't recommend this game in that case.
I'm middle of the road for this price. Like, it's not a great price. It's a good price,
but it's not a great game.
$12 is my cutoff. That's what I always say. If you can get this game for $12 or less, it's a fun time, especially if you go through with a friend. Playing this game in co-op is a blast, mostly because the player animations are so terrible. You just laugh at each other walking around the whole time.
Oh yeah,
and it's decently long. I mean, it's yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I give it a thumbs up at this price, but that's it. Don't pay more. Battle Wake for $9 on sale from $30.
I'm gonna give this a yes.
It's a fun game for a minute. Like
a minute? It's for a couple.
No,
of
not
hours.
For 1 minute. No, I mean figuratively for a minute. Like you'll play for a couple nights and enjoy it. And
this
you'll
game
be like,
has
wow, this is dope.
It's such a great game that has zero depth to it.
Yeah, so no replayability, no depth, but
I don't know.
Mechanically very fun though. I mean, the feeling of pulling up the thing to do a drift move and then like popping off your the gameplay is fun. It's just there's not much there.
Yeah,
but if you like this kind of stuff, I'd say check it out. Probably
if you want to sink a couple hours into it.
Yeah. No, I had a lot of fun with this for a few hours, and then I was like, oh wow, that's it. Like even the multiplayer didn't keep me entertained for more than a couple hours, and I was like, I've had enough. So for this price, yeah, absolutely. But again, don't pay more than that. Vertigo Home, which is on sale for $6.49.
It's not a toy.
Or
it's not a toy.
It's not a toy. On sale for $6.49 for non-Plus users. For Plus users, it's $3.89, and of course, it retails for $12.99. Thanks to AJ.
Yeah, thank you, AJ. Jesus Christ, that was.
Because of that, I'm going to say yes. Absolutely should be. This game is. It's like playing a Windows desktop like
screensaver, like a screensaver.
But it actually gets faster and faster and faster the longer you go, and it gets crazier. And I think for $4, I would probably be okay with that. I'd prefer it to be like $2. But for $4, why not? It's weird, it's fun, it's crazy.
It's got this. It's got this weird like throw everything at the wall mentality that like sometimes works pretty well, and I'm just like, this is so crazy. Like, what the fuck is this? And the soundtrack, like John is saying in the chat, like really unique, interesting soundtrack. There isn't another soundtrack that sounds like that. It's this weird like Latin electro swing, or I don't know what the fuck I would call it. There's all kinds of stuff going on in there, but weird game. For this price, I'd say probably check it out if this looks like something you'd have fun with. Super simple too. Like, you just move your head to go around.
Nihilist Ryan says kids love Vertigo Home. I would have never thought about that.
I could see that. I mean, it's just zany. There's like everything going on at once. Yeah.
I think he's just making fun of you guys. I think that's what Nihilist Ryan's really doing.
He's calling us.
It's okay. It's a middle of the road for me all day. Like, yeah, I had fun with it for a while, but I had no real grand desire to top the leaderboards or anything like that. It's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I know you did, AJ. I saw you.
So much of this game. Yeah. I played 8 hours in one sitting.
Oh my god, what is wrong with you?
It's his review on Without Parole too.
I'm going back to middle from a thumbs up because AJ, you convinced me for a minute, but now I realize that you're crazed, that you're an absolute madman, and so I can't agree with you anymore. So middle for me.
Yeah, middle. Electronauts for $7 instead of $20.
I love it.
I still have issues with the music selection. It's like so not my music selection, but there's enough there to have fun and stuff, and you know, it's a really cool creative. It's not a music creation tool. It's a music like remix playset kind of thing.
Music manipulation tool.
Music manipulator kind of tool.
It's a great like pass the headset party game too. Like if you've got people over and you've got the speakers pumping, and you're like, hey man, you take a turn, and like everybody gets to DJ, and you can see them up on the thing, see what they're doing, and like, oh, let me take a turn. Like that's gone pretty well for me a couple times in the past when I had people over. So yeah, if you got friends who seem like they'd be into a thing like that, it's a great party game, and it's just like fun to fool around in.
I appreciate everybody in the chat who's telling us about the Alvo release date. Thank you so much for joining the stream.
What?
Right?
Oh my god!
We definitely
breaking news from Polish Paul. Alvo release date.
Right. I actually published the trailer on Without Parole with the release date, and we already talked about it during GAMESCAST. But thank you guys very, very much. I know we're all very excited for it for sure. Electronauts thumbs up. It's kind of one of these things that like you just jump into, and especially if you like smoking pot or like just getting fucked up, you can lose yourself for hours in it. All right. Next up, we have we've got Killing Floor Incursion for $8 instead of $20.
Yeah, do it. Especially now that they've patched up the multiplayer stuff.
Yes,
I would say
absolutely. Yeah, if you remember that being like choppy, some choppy issues with the server, frame rates, and then click turning only for player 2. I don't know what that was all about, but it all seems to be fixed now.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's just dumb and goofy, and there's so much. And then like this when I just played through recently with Jeremy for Why We Love episode, we had so much fun, and that's I didn't even remember about having that much fun playing. I was just like, oh, it looks really nice and whatever, but we had a blast playing through. So for that price, I say definitely. Although be aware, there's some fucking bugs that I never encountered before my last playthrough. Creed Rise to Glory for $12 instead of $30.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you want a game like this and don't have it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not exciting to me anymore, but sure, it's a solid game. Like
I like Knockout League more.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel like time has colored our review on that, because like at first Creed seemed to me like better, and everybody was like, oh yeah, Creed's way better than Knockout League. That's what I want. And now we're sort of like, whatever. Side note, Servios is having a fucking blowout sale. Every single one of these games is a Servios game, or half of them at least.
Yeah. I like the one-on-one mode. I know that people have talked about like that's easy to like cheat and stuff, but like I've never I played with my friends. We didn't cheat. We had a good time. And playing through the campaign was fun too. So it's really simple. There's not a whole lot to the game, but I enjoyed it. And so for $12, absolutely, man, that's kind of like the price I want to pay for that game. No Man's Sky for $30 instead of $60.
Yes, buy it now. If you don't have it, buy it. Although you can get it physical for cheaper than that if you're a physical collector. Yeah.
If you have a PS5, I mean, if you have a PS5, first go try to get this game for $10 online or GameStop or wherever. Yeah. And if you can't find a physical copy, buy this because it's freaking incredible on PS5.
And like every 3 weeks, they're like, "Oh, we added all this crazy new shit that you guys had no clue we were going to add, and enjoy." And it's all VR supported. Have fun
constantly.
Yeah,
for real. I agree with everything you guys said. If you have a PlayStation 5, then yes, 100%. If you've got an OG or a Pro, you can wait. Because it's still just too blurry, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That brings us to something that's I guess depends on what you played on, but Dreams for $13 instead of $20. Super crisp and clear on PlayStation 5. Pretty damn good looking on Pro and kind of blurry pretty blurry on OG. As far as I'm concerned, though, thumbs up all around. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a must-have. We all know this.
Absolutely amazing. If you need help finding games, I got a list of top 30. Brian's got a list. Like Dave's got a list. We have all three of us have a list of games to play. So
we're some
and I need to
update my
site. Yeah, I need to get back in there because I'm sure there's 20 more that I haven't played yet.
I will say though, I would only get this if you have a Pro or a PS5. If you have an OG, I can't recommend this.
It depends. Like some of the best games did still run on the OG, right? Like you could still play them. They just weren't ideal. I don't know. It's such a great tool, and there's so much stuff out there that like it would suck to say just don't buy this to somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shout out to Looper, the game cat with the €5 donation says, "What's your sorting here? It used to be alphabetical order. Once upon a time." Okay, so when I actually put all this together, it usually like Duran Fan, our friend Duran Fan will post a list of these games on Reddit. He probably has by now, but when I first put this list together, he hadn't, and so I used PS prices.
He stopped doing it, actually.
Oh, he stopped doing it. It's too bad. It was an extremely helpful resource, and so I put this list together, and I got it from PS prices by doing that, and it was all out of order alphabetically. So there isn't an order, I don't think. It's kind of all over the place. So no order. But thank you for the tip.
Yeah. Now that Brian's in charge of the run of show, it's just things pulled out of a hat. There's no order. It's just chaos from here on out.
That's right. It's the without parole way, man. It's just like we're happy that it works, and even when it doesn't, we do our best. Resident Evil 7 for $10 instead of $20. I mean, fucking
that is way too expensive.
Gotta have it.
I'm just kidding.
I'm
I'm just pulling Brian's strings here.
Still the best game on PSVR, hands down. No questions asked. There's no competition to it, even
Not
remotely.
even the best on your own list.
No?
No.
What game was better than that on my own list?
Saints and Sinners.
Nope, that's not right.
Yeah.
That's not the list I went into the debate with. I think Saints and Sinners was like 5 for me the last time we went onto a debate. Just saying. So which makes it total crap, obviously, guys. Resident Evil 7, definitely pick that one up. Walking Dead Onslaught. Speaking of more Servios games, it's on sale from $30 down to $18. This is gonna be a tough one. Is it gonna be a tough one?
Not tough for me. Nope. Negative. It's a good price if you're like super interested and you don't like anything else on the list. I'd probably say yeah, but I'm just gonna keep this simple and say no.
If you don't already have Saints and Sinners, buy Saints and Sinners at any price before you buy this. But if you've already played Saints and Sinners and you're a big fan of the franchise and want to see Daryl and all that stuff, it's not the worst game. They've patched it up. I like it more now than I did when it launched.
Better than what it was.
Yeah. So $18 is not the worst price. There's a whole campaign and stuff, and
yeah,
some people will enjoy this. So I'm middle of the road, but like leaning towards up if you have already beaten Saints and Sinners.
Yeah, I really like half of this game, and the other half is boring as all fuck. Unfortunately, I say if you between this and Arizona Sunshine, fuck Saints and Sinners, between this and Arizona Sunshine, go spend $12 on Arizona Sunshine. It's
real quick.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Did you say real quick?
It's what? Yeah, I was. Yeah, no, you weren't done though. Sorry. You said between this and Arizona Sunshine?
Yeah,
He said Arizona Sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So real quick.
I'd have to agree.
Real quick.
Oh, real quick. I just want to give a shout out to Jeremy, the Sofa King, is in the house tonight. Also, Polish Paul said, "Hi, lads. Just popping in to say great show and great reveal earlier on today." What up, Polish Paul?
Thanks, dude.
Jeremy is such a nice guy. You guys don't even know. You guys don't even know. Every holiday, I have to show chat this. Every holiday, without fail.
Oh, God.
Jeremy.
Yep.
He sends me his Bitmoji, and it says Happy Easter. And he's like the only motherfucker who does that. And I get a big smile on my face, and then I don't reply. Sorry, Jeremy. But I appreciate it, dude. I love you, man.
What's crazy is that, I can't believe we're having this conversation right now, but he sent me a different one.
He's got a whole collection of them. Yeah, he's got like
how crazy is it that he didn't just send the same one to everybody?
He's that how thoughtful he is. That's how fucking thoughtful Jeremy King is.
Thoughtful. All right, guys.
So fucking thoughtful.
So fucking.
He's got one. He's got a different one too.
He's like,
Jeremy just got outed as being the nicest guy in the world, man.
Jeremy is literally the nicest person in the world.
It's so nice,
right? And how his Bitmoji looks just like him.
I know.
I get the vibe when I see it.
Crazy.
It feels like Jeremy when I see it.
Yeah. Guys, Ace Combat 7 for 15 instead of 60.
Yes. Yep. Finally.
Do it.
$15. Hell yeah. I don't care if there's only 3 missions. You can replay them. You can play them with different ships, different loadouts. It's awesome. Yes.
There's also a super hard difficulty mode that's only unlockable by beating the actually pretty damn hard other modes.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you could spend a lot of time in this game if you wanted to.
Think about 10 hours to go from easy from completing easy to ace difficulty. 10 hours for me.
Yeah. Real quick, in the chat, Big Dog 2025 said, "Hey guys, sorry this is kind of off topic, but with Alvo coming soon and it requires PlayStation Plus, is it worth it if I don't have PS Plus?" Now let's clarify: is PlayStation Plus worth it, or is Alvo worth it? Because PlayStation Plus is worth it with or without Alvo. Like getting to play online and getting constant discounts on the store and free games every month. So yes, Alvo, I would say no, not worth it without Plus. Absolutely not. I don't think you can't even play it. I don't think without a Plus subscription.
All right, so even the bots are server based then, right? I think
so. I'm 99% sure. Although that 1% is pretty big.
I mean, even Firewall, you can't really play offline, right? So,
yeah, there's an offline mode, and it's just training. You know, I wouldn't recommend Firewall for sure. So yeah, but get Plus. I wouldn't get Alvo though without it. All right, guys, back on track. We get Tetris Effect for $20 instead of $40.
Buy it if you don't have it. Buy it.
I love Tetris Effect, and it's like it's like one of the most relaxing, like stress clearing games you could ever play.
And keep in mind that I think summer 2021 is still when they said we're getting the free update for Tetris Effect Connected.
Couple months till multiplayer.
I wouldn't be too surprised, and this is, call me crazy, but like when that drops, if we got a PS5 patch for the clarity and stuff, like
that'd be so great too.
It would be that game could really benefit from it, and I think it would make sense, you know, when you're dropping a big update like that, throw in a PS5 patch. So yeah. But grab it now for cheap, and you'll already have the multiplayer when it drops later.
Yeah. 100% agree. That game's fantastic. LA Noire, the VR case file is $15 instead of $30. I'm going to say absolutely. It's not the full game. It's only about a third of the original game, and it's got certainly got some immersion problems, but still.
Controls.
Yeah, I feel like it's still totally worth it.
I think this is the best price you can pretty much get for it.
So I had an audio issue and I didn't hear the name of the game. I was trying to context clue my way back to it, but I haven't.
LA Noire, VR case files.
Okay, cool. For 15, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Half price.
15's a good price. I'm going to go middle of the road here. I usually say yes to this, but I'm just going to say middle.
I think if you're an existing fan of LA Noire and like want to experience it in VR, you got to pick this up. But if you aren't and have no love for LA Noire, it's a little empty. It feels a little bit barren. And you're like, oh, a big open world to drive around in. And there's nothing to do unless I drive to directly the exact spot that they want me to drive to. So I think it's cool as like a, wow, it's fun to be in here in VR and be doing my detective notes and all this shit. But like, if you're not a fan already, pass, I would say.
Yeah. I think it is fun to drive around though. I think it's one of the few actual games that lets you use two move controllers to like steer the wheel. I mean, we have some kart racers I think that have come pretty close, but to actually drive an actual car and and do this, it feels so weird because it's these old cars and it feels like you're driving a boat and stuff, and you can actually hear the metal going like around corners. It's, I don't know. There's something really really enjoyable about driving in this game, but we should probably move on. Otherwise, we'll talk about it all day. Dirt Rally for $5 instead of 20.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
$5 for Dirt Rally.
This is a full ass game. Like, this is a whole game. You could play the hell out of it if you want to. The whole thing's in VR, and it's so nerve wracking and so fun as a racing game. Like, I have more fun with this than I do with Gran Turismo. It's a little different. There's something to it where like one mistake could fuck your whole run up. So you've got like this idea in the back of your head, like every turn could be your last, which is really fun to me. And I love the mechanic of the guy calling out the turns and stuff. Thumbs up, buy it. It's great.
It's very challenging. If you like, really, if you're up for the challenge, maybe. Some areas look kind of blurry. Some of them look gorgeous.
On Pro, it has weather effects too. If just to throw that out there, that look pretty good. You get like rain on your windshield and shit.
Yeah, this is just to keep everybody on the up and up here. This was a $60 game at launch. The patch was the PSVR upgrade was another $8 or $10 or something like that. So I paid around $70 for this game at launch. So $5 for the bundle is pretty amazing.
That's a ridiculous price.
Yeah,
insane.
Big thumbs up. This might be a little divisive. Espire 1 for $12 instead of $30.
It's not going to be divisive. No. I'm going to be the only one to say yes.
Yeah, and we're going to say no. We've talked about that enough. O-Shape for $15.99 or $14 with plus, $20 normally.
I'm a dirty casual, and I haven't played this yet. I still have not played O-Shape, but maybe I'll pick it up because I've heard some good stuff. Right, it's a good kind of workout. You move around.
Yeah. It's definitely a good workout.
True. Yeah, I could use one of those. I'm sure.
I hate the music in this game, which is why.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I dislike music.
I'm going to say yes because despite the fact that it's not my style of music either, it is a good workout and it's fun to play the game. So yeah, I'm going to say yes if you know what you're getting into for sure. Don't buy it for like a Beat Saber game though. It's like you want to work out.
They also charge for the DLC. What the shit is that?
Yeah, that was kind of lame. Demo Reborn for $24 instead of $40.
Now, I'm going to say yes to this because it's beautiful. It's a puzzle game that I actually like. It has cool piano mechanics. It's just there's something really nice about it. I still haven't beaten it, but I did sink plenty of hours into it. I wish it was a little cheaper, but it's a quality game. Yes.
If I had $5 for every time there was a puzzle game that AJ wouldn't normally like, but it's in VR, so he likes it, I think I would have enough to buy most of the games on this list, probably. But yeah, this is definitely, if you're into the rhythm game thing and don't mind having to take a break now and then to do the other stuff, because some people I think will see it as a distraction rather than a bonus. But if you know what you're getting into, it is a really cool package, and it's got the most unique like set of music I think of any rhythm game we have. Like, it's piano based, but they've got like rock music that's still piano based, and they've got classical sounding stuff and all sorts of stuff covered there. So yeah, I mean, I would say thumbs up. It should have probably been 25 at launch just to get people in the door. Probably, I wish they had gotten more people in because this is kind of it's going to stay under the radar forever.
I'm on the edge now. Now I'm kind of like middle of the road.
I'm saying thumbs up.
Yeah,
I love games like this. I love rhythm games.
A little bit cheaper.
I had so much fun with this game. It was. I thought the puzzles were beautiful. I thought the environments were fantastic. It was just like the relationship between the little girl and Demo. Like, it just was like so. I don't know. There's like this darkness, but like their relationship was wholesome and stuff. And it was just, I don't know. I just really enjoyed everything about the game. And the only downside for me was that like playing the piano with the move controllers felt like I was banging an xylophone instead of playing a piano. The DualShock playing this flat screen is way more using the DualShock is way more technical. It's almost feels like a DDR or something. It's like, using the buttons and very quick. This feels a little sloppy, but overall, I think it's amazing. So I'm definitely giving it 2 thumbs up for $24. Guys, we're on to Dance Collider for $8 versus $20. It can't even stand.
Collider?
It can't even stay on.
Collider? Nah.
Can't even stay on rhythm.
Yeah, I don't know about that game. It like briefly impressed me up front because it's a little flashy. Like you'll see the character dancing in front of you, and you're like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Like I'm in a cool like cyber world, and then you're just like, "Oh, this game's not that fun though."
Right. Yeah, it's a thumbs down for me. Did we get it, AJ? You said hell no, right?
No. Yeah.
Ski jumping. I could just tell without even hearing that you didn't want it to be on this.
Ski Jumping Pro for 10 instead of 20.
Mm.
Okay. No. Needs to be $2.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree. It's a little bit fun, but you do everything in like 90 minutes. It's ridiculous. Conrad's Kittens for $7.79 instead of 13. This is the last one on the list.
If your kid can't wait for PSVR and you got a stuffed toy you can attach a Move controller to, maybe throw the kid in there. Not the worst investment probably, but otherwise, nah, pass.
Yeah, I didn't have any fun with it. I even attached my Move controller to a stuffed animal to kind of.
I did. I did too.
And I was like, I'm still not having any fun. This is so
I
awkward.
bought zip ties just for that, which is a strange thing to explain to anybody. But
yeah, absolutely. Is this a no for you, AJ?
Another no.
Another no. Yeah, some real good stuff in the sale, some real kind of crap in the sale. So you get the best of both worlds for sure. But
yeah,
guys,
if you don't have any Servios games, you could go pick all of them up. It sounds like for a pretty solid price. Yeah,
pretty much. All right, guys. Like I said, we have so much to do tonight. I've got a lot to get done. I gotta figure out why the stream decided to shut down in the middle of everything, and I gotta maybe find a way to stitch the 2 videos back together.
Yeah.
But it might just be a part 1 and part 2 kind of situation. We'll see what happens. But thank you guys. I'm glad you all found us again. It's really nice to hang out with everyone, and make sure you're back tomorrow. Day 2 of April's PSVR is going to be, I think, just about as good as day 1. So plenty of stuff to keep an eye on. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you don't already, make sure you subscribe to Dave over at Dave Station VR. Subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground. Shout out to all of our moderators out there, making the world go round, making our lives so much easier. We love you so very much. All the cats in the chat, everyone who donated, everybody who watched, everybody who hung out. Let's get out of here, guys. My name is Brian Paul. This was PSVR GAMESCAST Live, and we're out.
Cue the cat. No, damn it.
And shout out to Star Centurion for the $2. Says, good stream while drinking coffee. Cheers. It's always good to drink coffee during a stream.
Cheers.
We love you guys. Thank you so much.